How's everyone out there doing today? I am doing very well. This is a beautiful day down here in North Carolina. Well, Raleigh, North Carolina, to be very specific with you all. I thought I would just pop in to your virtual and audio spaces today just because, you know, I thought I would just come on in and just say hello to everyone and also to kind of show you my new backdrop that I have for my podcast. I have some things that I have had over the years as I was writing my third book. I had some things made that when I go out in the community and I would go out to different presentations, or if I was invited out to be a speaker at certain events, then I had these backdrops made, very large poster boards. So this one that I'm pointing to now is advertising one of my books that I wrote, The Color of Hope, African American Mental Health in the Church. And it says, book release coming soon. Pamela Robinson, D-Man, MDiv, all those alphabets that I have behind my name. And then also it has my picture on it, that this picture that I took when I was working on my dissertation. I had this picture taken so that I had different, man, I'm losing my words. I had different flyers and marketing materials made up for that. And so I had this photo shoot that I did, and they put that picture there for me. And then this big poster board behind me is from my parenting manual that I wrote. I wrote it way back in 2002, and then I revised it in 2012, and then I revised it again in 2020. And it is Blooming with Hope Parenting Educational Manual, as you can see. And actually, I have a copy of it right here, and it is the Blooming with Hope Parenting Educational Manual that I wrote back in 2002 and revised it twice since then. And it is a manual that is deserving of you to purchase for your family, friends, and loved ones. It is a parenting manual that talks about how to be a better parent to those kiddos that you might have in your care. And not only the kiddos that you have in your care, but also to children that are a part of your church family, that are part of your school systems, that are part of your neighborhood, the social media group, those that you are affected kin to. This manual is something that you've got to get your hands on. Blooming with Hope Parenting Educational Manual. It is actually a part of this is includes my story of being a single mom way back when. And then part of it actually has different worksheets in there that you can complete. It has things in here that talk about how to change families that might find themselves in a dysfunctional state. It has different worksheets in here that tells about how can I become more self-aware about how to be a better parent, a better love, a better role model to my child, a better teacher, a better pastor, a better youth group leader, a better neighbor to my child that might be looking up to me? How can I be a mentor to a young person? And this manual is available to you through clicking on the QR code that's right here on the screen. Click on that QR code and it will bring you right to where you need to be so that you can go about purchasing that manual and supporting those kiddos that are in your lives. Also, I want to let you know about my book. one of my books. I have three books that I have written, but I thank and praise the Lord that this book has done the best out of all the three books that I've written. It is, once again, The Color of Hope, African American Mental Health in the Church. This book was actually taken from my dissertation. My dissertation that I wrote roughly 4 years ago. You know, a dissertation is something that oftentimes is full of statistics and data and focus groups and those types of things. And so oftentimes people are not going to pick up a dissertation and just read it, out on their porch like I do, sipping tea down here. I sit on my porch and I'll read. Well, oftentimes they may not do that with a dissertation. So I said to myself, how can I make this dissertation something that the layperson would want to read? And so, in doing so, I actually extrapolated the information from the dissertation and I put it in the form of this book that is in layman's terms so that you can read it. This book, one of my very good friends, and actually, she was my doctoral committee chairperson by the name of Dr. Luchar Wallace in Kalamazoo, Michigan. She wrote one of the forwards for this book, and it reads as follows. I'll read just a brief part of it. It says, "It is such an honor to be able to write a few words of acknowledgement on behalf of Dr. Robinson's book, The Color of Hope, African American Mental Health in the Church. Dr. Robinson is a visionary. Dr. Robinson was able to become familiar with this topic because of the work that she did for her doctoral dissertation entitled African American Mental Health in the Church, Serving Those with Disabilities to Have an Attitudinal Change. Dr. Robinson's has a masterpiece here in this book. She utilized surveys, research designs, group projects, and she was able to do several sermons and also reach out into her community as she met with her doctoral committee and as she was able to extrapolate that information into this book. It became a work of one that she is most proud of. Myself, as her doctoral committee chairperson, was so proud to be a part of the work that Dr. Robinson was able to put together in this book. That was written by my doctoral chairperson, Dr. Luchar Wallace, PhD. She resides in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and is an amazing support person and friend and mentor of mine. You can purchase your copy of this book, The Color of Hope, African American Mental Health in the Church, by scanning the QR code right there on your screen. Scan the code, it will bring you right to where you need to be to go ahead and purchase a copy for yourself and several copies for those people that you love. Do it now so that you won't forget. Also, I want to let you know that I have developed a set of flashcards, Blooming with Hope, New Coping Skills flashcards. This is a fun-filled, culturally relevant, and culturally affirming game that will help your child deal with those really big emotions that sometimes they may not have the words to express themselves, and they might actually exhibit those particular behaviors in a way that isn't so appropriate. The Blooming with New Coping Skills will help your kiddo to be able to express those emotions. Now, everyone needs to be able to cope with life's emotions and their stresses in healthy ways. Childhood is a wonderful time to learn how to cope and manage and self regulate those emotions that oftentimes can be overwhelming. This particular game has been created by me to help your kiddos and those kiddos in your life to be able to get along better with others, to be more easily able to explain some of the feelings that they may be going through, to be able to maintain their friendships because they'll be able to embrace their emotions and be able to be friendly and loving and kind and supportive. This game is also one that will help your child be able to pay attention in school and learn better. It will help them to be able to be more of a resilient young person and also help them to be able to develop a skill set whereby they can utilize when they actually become a thriving young adult, a skill set that will stick with them throughout their lives. So, won't you take a moment and scan the QR code right here on your screen? And it will take you right to where you can purchase this product. I'll show you some of the cards. This card says anger. I had my graphic design person create these cards for me. And in doing so, I wanted her to create a card that showed a child that was angry. This child is so angry. Have you ever been there? To the degree that they just don't know how to express those emotions. However, with this particular card game that I've developed, it tells them on the back of the card how to express those emotions in a way that it's going to be something that will help them instead of take away from them. It will help them to be a better kiddo, to be one that's receptive and one that's well received. When feeling angry, a kiddo could build a pillow fort, read their Bible, take a bike ride, go out and rake the leaves and then jump into them, hang out with friends, or look at something that is red and see how many things in that particular setting that they're in have red in them. In doing so, their minds will be taken off of that emotion of feeling angry and they'll be able to express themselves utilizing this picture. They might not have the words, but they might point to this and say, "This is how I'm feeling." And then you, as their caregiver, you, as that support person, you, as that adult in their life, can actually help them to navigate that emotion by sharing with them those coping skills that I just listed. Also, there's a card for sadness and helping a kiddo be able to express that really sad emotion. And what do they do when they're feeling emotionally overwhelmed with sadness? Well, they can squeeze something such as a stress ball or play with Play Doh. They can pray and read their Bible. They could talk to their Sunday school teacher. They could talk to their youth group leader, their pastor. They could talk to you, their mom, their dad. They could talk. They could go outside and play. Get away from all of those social media sites and the games and sitting in front of the TV and watching Netflix. Go outside and take a walk on a trail and enjoy nature to express that emotion of sadness. It can be overwhelming, However, purchase a copy of the Blooming with Coping Skills emotionally regulating flashcard game that I created and teach your children how to express those emotions when they're feeling anxious, when they're feeling sad, when they are feeling as though their feelings are all over the place, as you can see on this card, even on the back of the card. Their thoughts and feelings are just all over the place. Sometimes it feels as though they are so angry that they are having fireworks go off. This card that my graphic designer created, it says anger fireworks are exploding. See, like on the 4th of July, pow, all the explosions of fireworks that happen. Sometimes that's just how the kiddos are feeling in your life. And then I'll show you one last card. And this is a card of jealous that says jealousy. See this pretty little black girl on the card? She's so cute. Don't let that cuteness actually deceive you, however, because this little cute girl is feeling jealous of someone. And she is hiding behind that with her cuteness. When feeling jealous, a kiddo could study hard because they might be jealous of the other person's grades that they're getting in school. But they can study hard and they can set a routine, and you, as their caregiver, their friend, their parent, their youth group leader, their therapist, their neighbor, that adult that's in their life, you can help them to come up with a plan whereby they can study just as hard as the next kid and learn to get those good grades. They can also stop comparing themselves with someone else and the other kids. The grass isn't always greener on the other side, and that'll take you, parent, loved one, mentor, therapist, pastor, youth group leader, or whomever you are that's significant in that kiddo's life. It'll take you to help them to be able to articulate that feeling in an appropriate way and build the capacity on the inside of them to be able to learn how to express those emotions. This game that I have created, the Blooming with New Coping Skills Emotionally Regulating Flashcard Game, is for children ages 3 to 14. Blooming with New Coping Skills is a culturally relevant set of flashcards that were designed to teach and engage children to be able to learn strategies to cope with those really big emotions. It's a fun filled cooperative game that will actually enhance their social skills and enhance their ability to be able to navigate life situations. We know as adults that there are times in our lives that we've got to know how to bite our tongues and not just snap off. Yet and still, sometimes we do that. But we've got to know that we are the ones that the Lord has put down as caretakers for those kiddos that are in our lives. And as caretakers for the kiddos that are in our lives, sometimes we've got to have some resources available to enhance the job that we're doing. One of the resources, once again, is these flashcards that I have created that are available for purchase. The Blooming with New Coping Skills Emotionally Regulating Flashcards. They are available by scanning the QR code, and you can get your copy of these flashcards. They're actually packaged in a very nice box. And inside of the box, there is a nice cushion that when I ship them, they won't move all over. And then when you remove the cushion, the flashcards are waiting right here for you and your kiddos to be able to go ahead and utilize them and learn how to deal with those really big emotions. Now, Christmas is coming up. And when Christmas comes, I want you not to forget about these products that I have available. You can start now. I know even in the stores in Walmart, Walmart. And down here in Raleigh, North Carolina, we have so many stores. Not only do we have Walmart, we have Food Lion, a major chain. And we have some other major stores here that already have their Christmas items out. So I'm starting early, just like the world's starting early. And I want you to reach out and I want you to begin to purchase these products. The Blooming with New Coping Skills, Emotionally Regulating Flashcards here on your screen. Also, be sure to purchase your copy of the Blooming with Hope Parenting Regulating and Empowering Manual by scanning the QR code. And also, I want you to get your copy and several copies of the Color of Hope African American Mental Health in the Church book. Begin to purchase these books and put them aside so that they can actually become gifts for those that you love and those that you care about. Also, for those that would like to be able to enhance your knowledge on what it means to embrace African Americans in a church setting, and not only African Americans in the church settings, but those that are in church settings that present with mental illness and or developmental disabilities. I want you to know that my cutting edge dissertation is available by scanning the QR code. This dissertation was published on ProQuest, which is a scholarly database that not many dissertations are published on. I am so thankful that the Lord saw fit to have it that my dissertation is published on a scholarly database and available to you at a small cost. Purchase your copy and support the work that the Lord has allowed me to do over the course of 10 decades or more of research and laboring before writing and focus groups, meeting with people, praying with people, counseling people, supporting people, advocating, and navigating sometimes an unfriendly system that's among us. I want to also let you all know that I am so excited once again to bring to you coming up one of my very good friends will be on the podcast next Tuesday. She is a friend of mine and a colleague from Kalamazoo, Michigan. She was a person that came out to be one of the people that presented and had a booth set up at one of our mental health forums. In Kalamazoo, Michigan, my late husband and I, we used to present mental health forums to the community in Kalamazoo. Well, you might say, what is a mental health forum? A mental health forum, it was a time whereby we brought together community members and professionals, and specifically those that were diagnosed with mental health disabilities and those that had cognitive delays. We brought all those people under one umbrella for an entire day of activities so that they could learn from one another, the professionals, as well as those that were lay people, and as well as those specifically that were diagnosed with mental illness or developmental disabilities and intellectual disabilities. We were able to have several people that would share from their perspective and from their profession on those topics. We were able to have keynote speakers. We were able to have people that had disabilities and or mental illness share about their stories and their success, as well as some of the low points. And it was an amazing time, 12 years of mental health forums. And I am so grateful that we were the first people that took this charge on in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and brought it to the open and began to talk about this openly, this taboo topic. So, in doing so, people were really able to become free and able to embrace their disability and get the help that they needed. We were able to help to rid some of them of the stigma that they were facing. So, in doing so, once again, I was able to invite several people that were professionals to come out and present at those forums. One of them, once again, was my very good friend, none other than Dr. Tomika L. Garrett. She is the executive director and founder of Parents for Transition in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Dr. Garrett is the creator of Parents for Transition. It is a nonprofit organization that she birthed because of having a child with an invisible disability. She has over 20 years of experience in the field of education, K through 12, and in higher education. Dr. Garrett was inspired to create Parents for Transition due to her experience, both lived and as a higher education professional. Dr. Garrett, as you can see here on my screen, will be my featured guest this Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, streaming live on the Dr. Pamela Robinson Facebook page and on the Lotus Flower YouTube channel. You don't want to miss this episode as we share richly about invisible disabilities. What is an invisible disability, you might ask? An invisible disability is oftentimes a simple term. It is a term whereby people have a disability that isn't visible. It can be a physical disability, it can be a mental disability, it can be a neurological condition that isn't visible on the outside. Yet it can be so limiting to that person's ability to move, to sense, to be in activities, to actually attend to their daily lives. Unfortunately, the fact is that these symptoms sometimes are invisible, and to the degree that the people that have these disabilities so oftentimes are misdiagnosed, mislabeled, and mishandled. Well, join me this Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as my friend and colleague, Dr. Tomiko Garrett, shares with us about Invisible Disabilities 101, how to support and encourage individuals that are impacted by invisible disabilities. What is an invisible disability? How do I support someone that has an invisible disability? How can I get the help that I need for my invisible disability? Once again, you don't want to miss the Lotus Flower podcast this Tuesday, streaming live right here on Facebook and streaming live on the Dr. Pamela Robinson Lotus Flower YouTube channel. Once again, I just wanted to come on this afternoon because I wanted to be a blessing to those that are listening and are watching. I am so thankful that you thought it not robbery to become a subscriber to the Lotus Flower podcast. And I want you to know that I am so grateful that we have so many followers that join us every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Won't you become one of those subscribers? Go ahead, type in the Lotus Flower Podcast into your Google browser, go to the YouTube channel, and click subscribe and click the notification bell and become a subscriber of the Lotus Flower Podcast. Do it now, or you might forget, because I know I would. Do it now. Once again, I am Dr. Pamela Robinson coming to you live from the beautiful city of Raleigh, North Carolina. And I am so thankful that this is the day that the Lord has made, and I am rejoicing and I am so glad therein. Thank you for listening. And once again, I'll see you Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, streaming live right here on the Dr. Pamela Robinson Facebook page. Bye bye for now.